There's nothing wrong with being right about Manchester. My name is Wallace Sapp. We are here today as an introduction to our program, Manchester Alive and Well. There are certain scales you can use as a basis for doing something. Today we're going to use the justice scale. Why? Because on the justice scale, good is better than evil, and right overpowers wrong. There are so many good things going on in Manchester. I came to Manchester, I would say, in 1956 from Quincy, Florida. My mother was a sharecropper, and I was born to sharecroppers' mothers. So I know about working in the tobacco field. And she decided to move up here with her sister in 1956 to have better things for her children. 1970, I got drafted and I moved to Virginia. And I stayed there for a few years and then I came back. And I'm glad to come back because when I came back, I got involved with AmeriCorps and the positive things that Pittsburgh has, especially here in Manchester. Well, my mother has 2 houses here, for one. Once you're in Manchester, I mean, you can leave Manchester, but Manchester never leaves you. You can always come back here and feel like you're at home. There's a close-knit group of senior citizens here that keeps you in a positive direction. Even at my age, they look at me and say, "Is you doing the right thing?" So Manchester was a good place for me. Right next door is one of the most powerful men living in Pittsburgh. It's the executive director of a program for the Heinz Foundation. He lives right next door. You can't get no better than that. To live a little guy like me, a little grain of sand, being able to be next door and talk to one of the most powerfulest men in Pittsburgh. That's only in Manchester that something like that can happen. I wanted to give something back to the community, and Manchester has always had an open door policy for volunteers. I volunteered with they had a program called Read Aloud, where we read to the children. We had a GED program where we taught, we helped people who didn't have their GED, who wanted it to get their GED. They had a computer teaching program for the senior citizens. And I would say for about 10 years, I've been volunteering on and off at Manchester School. But for the last 2 years, I've been very serious about giving something back to Manchester. Well, right now, because of the Pittsburgh Promise, I see children who are capable of being promise seekers. Because the Pittsburgh Promise, you have to be in high school to get that money. But at Manchester School, we're the breeding grounds for Pittsburgh Promise seekers. So what I see children who are just waiting for their turn to succeed in life. We try to give them all the necessary education that they need to become a promise keeper or a promise seeker. I see children who are very happy to be at school. I mean, my relationship with the children is so wonderful. They give me so much respect. Like, it's like they look at me as a father figure. And I really, really, really do love that title. The teachers that are at Manchester, they're excellent teachers. They really, really love teaching the kids there. We all know that the hood, we know what the hood is, in any community always has a negative environment or negative atmosphere. People always think negative in the hood. So I'm sure by Manchester being a part of the hood, there is some negative. But that's because people fail to come and see for themselves. The love, the silent love that generates when you become a part of Manchester. There's a thread that runs through every resident here that is called family. That's the best kept secret of Manchester.